Well, I am Dr. Charles Madden. I have been teaching at George Mason for about 12 years. I teach cell biology, biology 213. I teach microbiology, biology 305. I teach synthesis course, infectious disease and society, which is biology 301. I teach biology 385, which is biotechnology and genetic engineering, and then I teach biology 486, which is the lab component of that course. Raised right out in the middle of nowhere in western Kansas. Though I lived in town, a great little town, I'm from a farm family, and so I was raised with, Noah's Ark around me, essentially. Raised with animals, raised outside, every day, all day, pretty much outside. So biology was a natural fit for me. Well, so I went to Kansas State in the Little Apple of Manhattan, Kansas, which is where everybody in Western Kansas goes, thinking I would be the next great agricultural scientist in the world. And then I went to Louisiana State because, again, I was thinking I was going to work on something to do with crops or something to do with animals. And LSU has a very strong program in that. I got biochemistry degrees in both. I got an undergraduate degree in biochemistry and a PhD in biochemistry. I did my PhD work at Louisiana State University. When you're in the biological sciences, even though you get a PhD, you don't just walk into a professor position. A lot of people that get advanced science degrees, you become essentially a professional scientist. You do research, and those are called postdoctoral scientists or staff scientists. And I spent, a decade at least as a professional staff scientist at Baylor College of Medicine, having switched to human diseases by that time. So Louisiana State, I worked on in horses, which is a retrovirus infection in horses. Then it's a natural fit that then I continued in virology, working on hepatitis B and hepatitis C at Baylor College of Medicine in Houston, which I did for many years. Speaking to most of our students, many of our students are pre-health. And pre-health is a very challenging career field. Obviously, you're going to have to do really well. And I think a lot of students end up as pre-health so much because they don't necessarily know what else to do with biology degrees, or they don't necessarily know what other careers they might like, or they think it's prestigious because they see it on TV as prestigious. The practice of medicine is not what you think. It's not what you think at all. I can tell you that. And so, when you come in your first year, you really need to actually do some introspective thinking and decide what you want to do career-wise, what makes you happiest, and shut out the voices, shut out the parents, shut out the friends, and really think about what you like to do as a person. Do you like to be inside? Do you like to be outside? Do you like a lot of people in a really busy place, or do you like more solitary kind of work? All those things are things you need to ask if you're thinking about a career. Join some groups. Join at least one or two groups. I do encourage that. I didn't do that very much because I'm kind of a solitary person generally, but I regret not doing that. Joining some sort of undergraduate social organization or a sports organization or something like that, especially George Mason, because we have so many commuting students and it's such a big school. It's really easy to feel that there's not a lot of collegiality. It's not like a small 4-year college up in the mountains where everybody lives on campus. So it's a very busy place. So I think that's important for our students. And then reach out and talk to your professors. I like to talk to students. I don't like to be annoyed with unnecessary questions. I don't want to repeat what I already said in my lecture. don't come to my office and ask that. I like to talk to students, and I'll talk to you about career stuff and about college stuff. And, I'm surprised more students don't do that. From a kid, I always wanted to be a scientist. I was in love with Jacques Cousteau. That's who I wanted to be when I grew up. So it's really hard for me to envision that. I could have been an archaeologist. So I like digging in the dirt. I like unburying things. So, an archaeologist, anthropologist would have been kind of a neat occupation for me. And then being a biologist, being a scientist, and working in both a veterinary school and then a medical school, there are many times when I thought I should have also gotten a clinical degree, or instead of gotten a clinical degree. So I have a PhD, and, as I now understand, if you get an MD or a DVM, they're all terminal degrees. You can do research as an MD, of course you can, and as a DVM you can do research as well. I might very well have gotten a clinical degree instead of the PhD.